What is the most interesting statistic you know? That belly button bacteria study was wild. 60 belly buttons sampled. 2368 different species of bacteria found. The study indicated that 1458 of them may be new to science. One had a rare bacteria found in Japanese soil, and they had never been to Japan. Two had rare bacteria that thrived on ice caps and thermal vents. Not a single bacteria was common to all buttons. Wow. My first time passed 20 upvotes. Here is a link to the study. You have to go to the results and discussion tab. The Statue of Liberty wears a size 879 sandal. 2/3 of the Australian population will develop skin cancer at some point of their lives. Even in the 2022 Kentucky Derby, 19/22 entered horses can trace lineage to Secretariat. The most aggressive drivers on the road are females in their 20s. Source: AAA Actuary. We collectively receive about 2.4 billion robocalls per month. There are more than 7,000 islands in the Philippines. When tested by another agency, ITSA failed to detect weapons, bombs, and other destructive materials 95% of the time. Gary Norman is 13 days older than Gary Oldman. The risk of a heart attack is about 20% greater on Mondays for adult men, and 15% greater for adult women. Used to work as a meteorologist. More people die from flooding each year than from every other natural disaster added together. A good portion, at least, are people who think their cars can make it through the water when they obviously cannot. Human women are the only living things on Earth with permanent breasts. Only mammals have breasts at all, and no other mammal has them developed other than surrounding pregnancy and weaning. This is why you never see a cow, dog, lioness or whatever with an udder or breasts, but without children/cubs/whatever. While we are on the subject, Google elephant breasts and have a laugh. Less than 10% of Americans do not wear seatbelts and account for 51% of car-related fatalities. Wear your seatbelt. Ignore your friend who told you my buddy's cousin Wold died if he was wearing his seatbelt. 20% of the mammal species on our planet are different types of bats. There's about 5,000 species of mammals, and about 1,000 of them are varieties of our little winged buddies. In 2020, overdose with a synthetic opioid, primarily fentanyl, became the leading cause of death in all Americans, ages 18 to 45. Motor vehicle accidents were the former leading cause for this age group. The average age of retirement in the US is 62. 53% of retirements aren't voluntary. Since the mid-1970s, the world's population has doubled. Dragonflies have a 95% hunt success rate, making them the most effective hunters in the world. Innocent people will admit to a crime they never committed 43% of the time. Sharks have existed for longer than the rings of Saturn, 450 million years versus around 100 million. The average drunk driver drives under the influence more than 80 times before they get caught. That 49.6% of Pakistanis marry a first cousin and 8.3% marry a second cousin. In rural areas of Pakistan, up to 80% of people marry a cousin. National Geographic found in 2018 that only 9% of all plastic worldwide gets recycled. A study in the US by the Environmental Protection Agency found only 8.4% of US waste was recycled. Biffa Waste Services Limited was caught sending over 1,000 tons of private home waste to India, labeled as paper, so you pay less per container, for profit. Basically, recycling is a depressing joke. Prostate cancer affects 80% of 80-year-old men at some point in their lives. 80%. Of the 30 fastest 100-meter sprint times, 21 were run by athletes who tested positive for performance enhancing drugs. The other 9 were Usain Bolt. There are more ants alive today than there have been humans alive ever. 48% of British people wouldn't go to space, even if their safety was guaranteed, with the most popular reason being that they just simply didn't have any interest in going. The human eye blinks about 2 million times a year on average. 18% of all boating accidents are caused by people trying to pee over the side. Undefined. The Canadian Red Cross did a study of all water-related deaths between 1991 and 2008. Table 8 on page 39 states that between 9108, 62 people lost their lives from urinating from their watercraft. That only makes 3% of total deaths due to urination. I couldn't find an online source about how many accidents not resulting in death were attributed to urinating over the side of the boat, but my boating instructor gave me the number 18. And I've always trusted that number. The fact that they keep a record of deaths due to urination, and that yachting insurance companies warn about the dangers of urinating over the side of the boat makes me think that accidents not resulting in death is much higher than 3%. Wayne Gretzky and his brother hold the record for most points by a brother pair in NHL history. His brother has 4 points. A full 6% of Americans reckon they could beat a grizzly bear in unarmed combat. Undefined. 34% of adults and 75% of children sleep with a stuffed animal or a blanket, or other sentimental object as their comfort object. A full 25% of crimes in Detroit happens at gas stations after 10 p.m. A wild boar can ejaculate up to half a liter of semen on one go. This was a did you know quote from our school's biology books in the 90s. 2%. 20%. Motorcycles are 2% of all vehicles USA. Motorcycles account for 20% of all road fatalities. I don't ride anymore. Edit to add, in the US. Because I always have them rattling around in my brain. Only 3% of foster kids will ever obtain a college degree at any point in their life. After reaching the age of 18, 20% of the children who were in foster care will become instantly homeless. That's roughly 4,000 kids a year. Only 50% of foster youth will have gainful employment by age 23. 7 out of 10 girls who age out of the foster care system will become pregnant before the age of 21. 40% of men in prison were foster kids at some point in their lives. The numbers vary from state to state, but anywhere between 60-85% of sex trafficking victims were previously in the child welfare system. Edit 2. Adding some links here, because people keep asking. Text AS%20 THE%20 STATISTICS%20 Shotza C%20 many. Care 20 will 20 become 20 instantly 20 homeless.